business day after they bond out, especially on a case like this. He gets out on the 6th, we're now the 18th, and he's here set for today. How's that possible?
Is that Jones?
Jones, yeah. Has he checked in? Caleb Jones?
Huh? He's checked in, but he's gone outside.
Did your name?
So let's, huh?
Did you need that?
No, I'm good. Let me just wait till council gets here and then we'll
I
talk.
guess, depending what happens either way, we could get it back on supervision. This way, at least it's active supervised.
Yeah.
But, Judge, what I'm saying is if
I'm sending him, we'll send him for a drug test right now is what I'm gonna do.
if he gets revoked, one of the conditions to continue, then we should go ahead and do it more of that same
Do
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will
Nevertheless,
press
but-
and we'll get them to sign it and then we'll
Yeah.
take the.
Okay.
Okay.
Come up, sir. Take a seat for me in the jury box. Or you know what? No. Felicia, send him for a test, please.
Yes.
Rand, do you have an arraignment?
Judge, we'll wait for an interpreter, even though
What's the name of the objection? When you're doing it, I've been Jones. She speaks Spanish.
Okay. Yeah, let's wait for her.
Okay,
Yeah, usually they come here pretty quick. As soon as they get here, we'll do it.
thank you.
Sure,
Okay.
of course. Vic, you ready?
Yes, Judge.
Let's go.
All right, Judge, first one is page 11, the pause. Isaiah, come on up.
Good morning, Mr. DePaz.
Good morning.
So you're charged with assault causing bodily injury. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
On March 10th, 2025, at approximately 12:18 p.m., a school resource officer responded to a security officer needing assistance in LaPorte High School. Upon arrival, the defendant was placed in the security resources office after a physical altercation. The defendant stated he was upset with the complainant because the complainant had mistreated his sister in the past. The defendant confronted the complainant and struck the complainant with a closed fist on his face. The defendant was observed on school CCTV walking up to the complainant and punching him with a closed fist, and shortly after, the complainant fell to the ground. The complainant did not show signs of confrontation towards the defendant. The complainant was observed with multiple lacerations on his lower lip and a missing tooth from being struck in the face. The complainant was also observed with a swollen jaw and bleeding from his mouth, and the complainant felt pain. I have spoken to the family of the complainant. He's had to have his jaw wired shut. His jaw was broken on both sides of his face.
Serious bodily injury?
I don't believe that would rise the level of serious bodily injury because it's not permanent disfigurement, because he will heal eventually, but it will take 6 to 9 weeks for heal.
Mr. DePaz, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're smoking weed, if I find that you're using alcohol, I will put you in jail. You will get your degree with me. Do you understand? You are now not to go back to LaPorte High School. I'm ordering you not to go back. I don't want this person to live in fear, so you're not to go back there. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If I find that you become a danger to my community, I only have one place for you.
Yes, sir.
You're not to be in possession of weapons as well. You were what, 17?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will provide you a lawyer today. I'm sending you for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is going to be in your system. You have to take a test and you're to come back, and then I'll have you speak to a lawyer.
Yes, sir.
If you don't go take the test, if you don't come back, I will issue a warrant for your arrest.
Yes, sir.
I need your problem. You got out of jail because we gave you a free bond. You're not going to get another one if you're a danger to my community.
Yes,
You
sir.
understand?
Not causing.
Okay,
And Judge, did you say no contact with the complaining witness?
Correct.
Okay.
but don't worry, don't file anything because I'm going to have him supervised. All right, so just reach out to the MAC form, please, and then I'm going to send him for a test right now.
Okay. All right, go ahead and sign. Next judge is page 15, Ibarra, come on up.
That's awful. That sucks.
Right.
Did you see, what page?
Ibarra is on page 15.
Got it. Good morning, Mr. Ibarra.
Good morning, sir.
So you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Judge, this is a under 21 UCW. I can still read you the facts if you would like. Okay. On March 3rd, 2025, an officer was dispatched to a shooting. The officer found the defendant in a back alleyway with a gunshot wound to his leg. The defendant had a mesh backpack in his possession at the time and was able to see that there was a black handgun inside. The caliber of the handgun matched shell casings located on the ground next to the defendant. The defendant stated that he shot the gun in self-defense at 3 black males who shot at him. Those suspects fled the scene after officers' arrival. The defendant was transported to Ben Taub Hospital where the defendant was being treated for the gunshot wound to his left femur. The defendant admitted to being in the 114th Street Bounty Hunters gang and is 18 years old.
Okay, so was it really that, did he shoot himself or do we know that someone else shot?
We do not know. We
So-
know that the casings on scene match the caliber of the handgun that he had, but we don't know if he had shot himself and he stated he was unclear.
So the only allegation is that he's underage, essentially. Okay. Mr. Ibarra, I'm going to find that there's no probable cause to go forward in your case. You need to be very careful. You get but one life. You know, God forbid something happens where you have a gun and you use it, and then you end up getting charged with something. You've gotten shot in the leg now. I mean, luckily it's not somewhere else. It could be life ending.
Sir.
When you hang with dogs or when you're bad places in the middle of the night, really, do something with your life. Get into school, graduate, get some knowledge.
Sir.
Take a seat with me, please.
Judge, for Mr. DePaz, it was no contract.
Yeah, no contact, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. And then random UAs.
Yes, Judge.
Oh,
Back to
Rand, you ready? Yeah. Have your chance.
going back to LaPorte.
Right.
Right, Judge,
I do.
24.
Lenny, I always need you.
Reyes?
Rand. How are you? Right, how are you? Judge looks very festive today.
So this is an FSGI, am I right?
Yes, sir. Hola, yo te voy a interpretar, ¿ok?
Good morning, Ms. Reyes.
Días, señora Reyes.
Good morning.
Ms. Reyes, you're charged with failure to stop and give information. Essentially leaving the scene of an accident without exchanging information.
Era de un accidente sin intercambiar la información que necesitabas hacer.
You are facing up to 180 days in jail
180 días en la cárcel por
and or a $2,000
una
fine.
multa que no sobrepase $2,000.
We are going to do probable cause.
Los soldados,
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you.
contra usted.
I insist she stays silent.
Y tu abogado insiste que se quede callada.
Just please go slow.
Yes, Your Honor. On March
El
10th,
10 de marzo
2025,
del 2025
officers were
los
dispatched to
oficiales
Safer
fueron
Street
a
and
una calle Safer
Seth Street in reference to an
Street.
FSGI.
bajo una referencia de faltar y dar información.
The officers were
Los
advised that a white Charger
oficiales
left the scene
dijeron que
following
un
an
White Charger
accident
se fue de la escena después de un accidente
and was last seen
y
going
lo
southbound
vieron
on Shaver
y iba
Street.
en camino al sur en la calle Shaver.
The complainant stated that she
quejante
was
dijo
traveling when a
que
white
ella estaba
Dodger
manejando
made a
cuando un
unsafe lane
Dodger
change
Cambió de carril, pero sin,
and collided with her.
y chocó contra ella.
The complainant
El
showed
quejante
officer
dijo, le enseñó al oficial
showed the license
y
plate
tenía la
and
placa
damage to the vehicle
y
on
el
the back
daño al
left
vehículo.
portion. The complainant
El
estimated that the
quejante
damage was
dijo que
around
le
$1,000.
está estimando que costó como $1,000 en reparación.
Officers ran the
Y los
vehicle and
oficiales
found the registered
vieron la
owner to
placa
be
y
Juan Maneno.
encontraron que el dueño era Juan Veneno.
The officer located the vehicle at the apartment complex
Encontraron
that the
el
vehicle was
vehículo
registered
en
to.
los apartamentos a donde estaba registrado.
The officer met with
Y
Juan
el
and his
oficial
wife, who is
habló
the
con Juan y
defendant.
la esposa, que es el acusado.
One advised the officers that the
Y como
defendant
le
had been
dijo
driving the
que la
vehicle all
acusada
day,
estaba manejando todo el día el
and
vehículo
that the only damage to the
que
vehicle should have
cualquier
been on the
daño
front bumper from a
que
previous
tenía el
incident and
vehículo era
nothing
en la
else.
parte de frente de un accidente previo.
The defendant
Y
advised
el
officers that she was
acusado le
driving the
dijo
vehicle and
que
had
ella estaba
recently gotten
manejando
back from a Walmart,
el vehículo y había regresado
which
de
is around
Walmart
700
como
feet from where the incident
700
occurred.
pies de a donde ocurrió el
She denied hitting
incidente
anybody.
y ella negó pegarle a cualquier persona. Negó que
Your Honor, so based on the
y basado en
information,
la
the
información dice
car was registered to his wife.
So, how do we know who's driving
And
it?
the complaint,
y
the
cómo sabe quién está
Juan stated that he
manejando.
was the one driving and she admitted to being in that location at the time.
She denied hitting, right? Do we have any kind of evidence that puts her at the scene that she's the one that causes the accident?
Que ella estaba ahí y causó el accidente. Go ahead.
That she was the one, within 700 feet of the accident and that she had
Estaba
access to the vehicle, Your Honor.
Tenía acceso al vehículo y estaba a 700
And this
pies
vehicle was the one that was in the
del lugar.
accident.
Y ese fue el vehículo que estaba en el accidente.
The husband said that she was driving it.
She was driving
El
it all day. Your
esposo
Honor.
dijo que estaba manejando.
statement.
Dice que sí.
Do you want to add anything? Did you want to say anything?
No, well,
Yeah,
two
yeah,
things,
yeah.
Judge. Number one, there was no evidence that
No hay
she was,
evidencia.
as you mentioned, there was no evidence that she was
Que
driving
ella
the
estaba
vehicle. And just because she had the vehicle all day does not mean she
Dice
was
porque
driving
tenía el
it.
vehículo ese día.
For example,
No
when I'm sure my
significa
daughter's
que estaba
home,
manejando.
I'm sure,
Porque cuando,
and she's
por
using one of our
ejemplo,
vehicles, I'm sure that
mi hija
her lunkhead
está usando,
boyfriend is probably driving it right the majority of the
vehículo
time.
puede ser que
Additionally,
el
this
novio de
vehicle
mi hija
is
estaba
insured.
manejando. Ahora el vehículo
There's never been
tiene
any
su-
report
está
of
asegurado.
anyone, but people had
Por-
consent to driving it. That defense is not going to be erased, so this is an
Yes, sir.
insured incident.
It's just,
Es un incidente
you got A, you got C, but you don't have B. I mean, I just don't think that,
A ver,
officer could have gone to Walmart, pull a video, see her coming out, other
pueden ir a Walmart a ver si
cameras anywhere else. I don't know, but I just,
no hay
I
prueba.
don't think there's enough.
Okay.
You know?
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna find no probable cause in your case,
Va a
man.
encontrar que hay motivos fundados para mantener, pero
Please be careful when you're driving.
por favor, ten cuidado con
If you're going to drive, do not drive unless you have a valid license
No maneje.
and liability insurance in your name.
y seguro.
Do you understand?
¿Entendido?
Okay, all right.
And she does, for the court's edification.
Thanks, Jamie.
Always great seeing you, and I apologize on the record for calling in my future son-in-law is a lunkhead, in case that goes anywhere. I forgot it's being videoed. All right, take care.
DePaz?
I keep realizing.
All right, Judge, the next one is page 15, Jacobs, come on up.
I'll wait for August. I did, and if they don't call us.
Hey,
It has. I don't play down here anymore.
I don't blame you.
They play me in the felony court, so.
Yes, sir.
So you were retained on this case, correct? Have you filed an attorney of record yet?
Yeah, I did that this morning.
Are you, Ms. Jacobs?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you're charged with failure to comply. I guess striking them to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. Okay.
On February 27, 2025, an officer responded to an FSGI call in the HEB parking lot in Houston, Harris County, Texas. The complainant reported that while shopping, her vehicle was backed into by an unknown individual who did not stop. When she returned to her vehicle, a note was left with a license plate number, a witness's phone number, and a statement about the incident. The witness confirmed seeing a vehicle back into the complainant's vehicle and drive off. The witness gave a description of the defendant and her vehicle. On March 4th, 2025, an officer met with the loss prevention manager at HEB and was shown surveillance video from the parking lot, which showed the defendant driving over a curb and parking her vehicle. The defendant did shopping in the store and got back in her vehicle. The defendant began to reverse into the complainant's vehicle. The defendant paused briefly before driving off and exiting the parking lot. Surveillance video clearly showed the defendant as well as the defendant's vehicle's license plate. The officer confirmed the license plate was registered to the vehicle and the registered owner was the defendant. The officer compared the driver's images and positively identified the defendant. The officer called the defendant and the defendant acknowledged he rubbed another car with her bumper. The complainant provided photographs of the damage to her car along with an estimate that the total cost of repair would be $3,009.23.
Okay. Ms. Jacobs, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. Can you run her license, please? See if she has a valid license.
Yes, Judge.
I'm ordering you not to drive any vehicle unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. That's the only condition I'm putting on you at this time. Do not pick up any new cases. If you do, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand, ma'am?
Driver's license is valid.
Okay, so we're just going to craft bond conditions for you not to drive without without insurance as well. We'll have you sign it, and after that, you'll be free to go. You have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with him, and he'll tell you if and when you have to come back to court. If he tells me he can't get hold of you because you've gone AWOL, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. All right? We'll have you sign a receipt with Victoria. We'll have you take a seat in the juror box while we get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it, and then you'll be free to go.
We have a Spanish arraignment. Page 18, Macias, come on up. Counsel out.
Do you mind filing those?
Yes, Judge.
That's what didn't happen in the first case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo te voy a traducir enfrente de la jueza, ¿ok?
Gracias.
Este no es el momento de pelear el caso, solo escuchar lo que te van a decir. Te van a dar tus derechos y cosas así.
Good morning, Mr. Macias.
Buenos días, señor
Sir, you were
Macías.
charged with assault, bodily injury.
Daño
You're
corporal.
facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent.
Culpados.
Anything you say can or will be used against you.
Quiet.
You have the right to have an attorney present.
Tienes el derecho de tener un abogado presente.
If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
Van a asignar un abogado de oficio.
On March 10th,
El 10 de marzo del
2025,
2025,
at approximately
aproximadamente
5:03 p.m.,
5:03 de la
an
tarde,
officer
un
was
oficial
dispatched
lo
to a
llamaron
disturbance,
a una
unknown weapon
persona
residence
que tiene una
in
arma
Harris County,
aquí
Texas.
en una residencia en el condado de Harris.
The officer made
El
contact
oficial hizo
with the
contacto con
defendant
el acusado, usted,
and complainant
y el quejante
on the sidewalk of
ahí
the
en la
residence.
acera de la residencia.
The officer
El oficial
observed the
observó
call was related
Que la llamada
To
era
a previous
relacionado a otra llamada
on
previa
March 6th,
del 6 de marzo
2025.
del 2025 que estaba
The defendant stated his right
acusado
hand
dijo
was
que la mano
injured
derecha le hicieron
approximately
daño
3 days ago
hace como 3 días
because he fought with the
porque había
complainant
peleado con el
who
quejante
beat up the defendant and that he was
había
sitting
dado
outside
golpes
playing
y estaba
guitar
afuera
on the day of the
tocando
incident.
guitarra el día que ocurrió el
The
incidente
complainant became upset
quejante
because he
se
did not
enojó
like the noise and that
porque
the complainant
no le gustó el ruido.
complains
Siempre está
And-
quejándose sobre la música siempre.
and that the complainant caught him
Y
at a bad time
lo agarró un tiempo que estaba
because he
tomando
was drinking alcohol
estaba tomando
and was
alcohol
angry.
y estaba enojado.
The defendant stated he was tired
El
of the
acusado
complainant
dijo
constantly
que estaba
bothering him,
cansado de que él siempre se está molestando
that the complainant deserved to get beat up,
y le merecía que le
and if
dieran una
officers
paliza
released
y
him,
los oficiales
he would
lo
show
dejaran
them what he
ir
could do
y
by
le iba a
assaulting
enseñar
the complainant
qué ibas a
again.
hacer por agredirle otra vez.
The defendant stated he did
El
nothing
acusado
wrong.
dijo que no hizo nada mal.
The complainant stated that on March 6,
dijo que el 6 de
2025,
marzo del 2025
he was assaulted by
lo
multiple
agredió
males.
varios hombres.
He was taking out the laundry when the suspect started calling him
Cuando el sospechoso
racial
empezó a llamar
slurs.
a un montón de y le tiró al piso.
The complainant stated the suspect
El
punched him
quejanto
on the
dijo
right
que
side
el
of his face
sospechoso le pegó
with
en
a
la cara
closed
derecha
fist, causing
de la
pain.
cara con un puño, causando
He sustained
y
an
le
injury
dio
to his right knee and right
una
hand,
lesión en la rodilla derecha y la mano derecha.
and left side of his torso was
Y en el
hurt
lado
as he
izquierdo del
believed he was
torso,
kicked.
pues parece que él cree que le habían dado una patada.
On March 10th,
El 10 de
2025, the complainant
El
stated
2025,
one of the suspects
Te dijo
who attacked
que uno de
him
los sospechosos que le habían
on March 6,
atacado el 6 de
2025,
marzo de 2025
was at the location
le apuntó
and stated he had to go to the hospital
acusado
due to
y le dijo
injuries.
que tenía que haber ido
Did he identify him?
The defendant was identified with
Lo
his Mexican
identificó.
voter ID card.
con
Yes, the
tarjeta de
complainant
votar
pointed at the
mexicana,
defendant.
y dijo que él fue quien la atacó.
Mr. Macias, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your
Yeah.
case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the complaining witness,
Que no tengas ningún
not to be in possession of weapons, not to go within 200 feet of where he lives or where he works.
Él vive o trabaja.
I don't know what your immigration status is, but if you're not in this country with permission
Si no,
and you go to jail and immigration finds you because they sweep it daily, they will put an immigration detainer on you and you will be stuck in custody until this case is over with. And then you get shipped off to immigration. Well, you'll sit for another 6 to 9 months. I do not want that to happen.
esos 9 meses
And don't
es que eso.
become a danger to my community. I don't care what is going on when you're, I don't care who bothers you. If I find that you pick up another case, you become a danger.
Otro caso,
It's not going to go well for you.
peligro a esta comunidad no te va a ir bien.
You understand?
¿Entendido? Sí. Yes.
Do you have a lawyer today?
¿Tienes un abogado hoy?
No lo tengo.
No, sir. No te
No, ability to hire a lawyer.
¿Tienes la capacidad de contratar un abogado?
De momento estoy fracturado, no.
At this moment, I have a fracture.
You have the ability to hire a lawyer.
De contratar un abogado.
¿Tienes el dinero para contratar un abogado?
De momento no.
At this moment, no.
I'll have you fill out an application. I'll see whether you qualify.
I don't know.
I need to know everything about you. I need to know how much money you have in the bank,
Todo.
what you have money coming in, what kind of property you have, and then I'll take a look. We will create bond conditions for you.
Pues va.
Did you say that alcohol was a factor in this?
Yes, Judge. The defendant
Preguntó si había
stated he
alcohol en
was
este
angry
caso.
because he
Dice que
was
sí,
drinking that
porque
day.
estabas enojado ese día porque estabas
I'm
tomando
also
ese día.
ordering not to consume
También
alcohol,
te voy a
illegal
ordenar
drugs.
que no tomes
Test you. Mr. Macias, if I find that you're consuming alcohol, likewise, I will put you in jail.
Encuentro que estás tomando
Do you
alcohol
understand?
en la cárcel, ¿entendió?
Sí.
Yes.
I will, Deputy Miranda's going to give an application. I'll have you sign a receipt with Victoria. You'll get with police you for your bond conditions, and then we'll have you take a seat with
Y
your
vamos a ver
boss.
si te vamos a dar un abogado de cuando quieres de fianza. Pase allá.
Don't worry about filing conditions because
All right, Judge, next is page 24. Reynolds, come on up.
it's at Reynolds, right?
Yes, Judge, page 24.
Thanks. All right, good morning, Mr. Reynolds. Sir, you're charged with possession of marijuana. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On March 10th, 2025, officers were patrolling the area of the 13,500th block of Beechnut Street, Harris County, Texas. And they observed a white Hyundai Kona with an aluminum pole stuck to its hood due to a recent crash. A traffic stop.
What?
A aluminum pole stuck to its hood.
An aluminum pole stuck to the hood of a car. That's the basis for the stop.
Yes. This is word for word what when I observed a white Hyundai Kona with aluminum pole stuck to its hood, comma, recent crash. I then got behind the vehicle and, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, keep going, please.
Okay. I went back and got behind the vehicle. The officer started speaking with the defendant, who admitted to being driving and that he had crashed. The defendant told me that someone swerved into his lane and crashed into the pole. The defendant stated that he already called his record and that he was good to go. The defendant did not show any intentions of going back to the original scene and gave his information. While the officer was talking with the defendant, a security officer told the client that some people flagged him down the street, saying that the defendant crashed into multiple parked vehicles and drove off. The officer detained the defendant and went back to the original scene, which was a quarter mile from where the officer found the defendant.
Now that adds to it. I mean, that's certainly,
The officer spoke with a witness who stated that he was by the front of the apartment when he saw the white vehicle losing control, crash into a pole, and kept on driving while hitting another two vehicles. The witness stated that he was going around 60 to 70 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour speed limit zone. This confirmed how the aluminum light pole got stuck to his hood. The witness stated that he did not see anybody else around the vehicle before the incident. The officer spoke with one of the owners of the vehicles that was struck, and she stated that it will be around $200 to fix her vehicle and wants to pursue charges. The complainant of the other pickup vehicle had damages to the back right part of that vehicle, and the complainant stated that the defendant crashed into her vehicle and left without providing information. The defendant left the scene without, okay. At this point, they called intake, and then they completed an inventory search of the defendant's vehicle and located a black backpack with 7.4 grams of marijuana, multiple clear plastic bags, and scale.
is he under arrest? I mean, if he's
Yeah,
under
so
arrest,
they
then-
called,
but I didn't hear that he's under arrest or anything. They just up and go start searching?
they did say that the officer called DA intake and spoke with an EDA who accepted charges of the FSGI. And then it states there was an inventory search conducted.
Okay, so they did arrest him but what happened? Because is there an FSGI charge?
We're gonna be honest, Your Honor, I'm not entirely sure what happened there. I'm working on it right now. If there's FSGI, right now I'm working on the complainants. We'll get things worked out that way.
I mean, I don't
Right now, we do
understand.
not have an FSGI charge at this very second.
Did they accept it or did they not accept?
Based on the DIM statement, it says that we accept the charges. So I am trying to see why there is not a charge, but it's not something that I know.
What a weird day so far.
Your Honor,
Can I say something? No, don't. Now's not the time. I'm gonna give you a lawyer and you can tell your side to the lawyer, but,
I think there's a glitch in our internet system, so they did find marijuana, but they just, wherever, yeah.